Breathe deeply, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Raven Drone Foundation exists to serve, educate, and empower veterans, first responders, and trauma survivors through innovative wellness support programs.
We contribute to global healing and community through advocacy, storytelling, and the promotion of complementary and alternative medicine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've worked with vets with post-traumatic stress disorder. For them to have a voice and to be able to communicate what they've gone through is difficult. So not being able to say it in words when you can say it through music. You know, I think if you talk to a lot of musicians, they're able to say something through music that they might not be able to say to another person.
I can't think of a better way to pay tribute to our veterans than the spirituality of a drum circle.
You know, the power of music and drumming, and to have somebody be able to facilitate it the way that they're doing and literally give you these tools to take care of yourself, to like just kind of reset and try to manage the overwhelm.
And what the drum circle does is really bring us all together to be able to focus on ourselves and one another in a compassionate way. As I teach you this process of bringing yourself back to the now, I want you to continue to breathe. And any time that you have a thought or an image that takes you out of the moment, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And with that, just send that thought away, because these thoughts that live in the past and future don't belong in the moment. So we can release them.
The drumming community, they amaze me. I was sort of blown away by just the overwhelming respect that this community have given myself and Lauren. We're doing the right thing. We really are. You know, just sticking together, doing what we do, and trying to make sense of a lot of turmoil.
I play with a band you may have heard of called Def Leppard. I'd say most people have probably heard of Pour Some Sugar on Me, Love Bites, Armageddon It, Animal, Photograph, Rock of Ages. We're very blessed with great songs. I was probably opening up for Sammy Hagar by the time I couldn't have been older, I couldn't have been more than 16, maybe 17. First management took us as far as they could. They got us opening up for a small band called AC/DC. I mean, to open for AC/DC on, you know, the Highway to Hell tour, that was a big deal. It was like being in college. Well, what I imagined college would be. It was pretty straightforward. It was always focused on the music. I think that's one of the reasons why we became so successful, was simply because that was always our main focus. I told my mum, you know, I'm going to go out, go for a drive. When I got back onto the main road to start heading back toward Dronfield, and I was just sort of driving at a reasonable pace, country roads, you know. This Alfa Romeo, I could see him up ahead, and he was slowing down, and they started, making all these sort of strange hand gestures. And it was at that point that I tried to overtake this car. And every time I tried to overtake him, he would speed up. And this happened for probably about 3 or 4 miles down the road. And eventually, I lost my temper, put my foot down, and because I was sitting on the opposite side of the car, I actually didn't see this corner coming up, and that's when I lost control of the car. Now, interestingly enough, it was the seat belt that took my arm. The seat belt came undone, and as I rolled this car, the seat belt came across my chest and just took my arm. I guess the arm must have stayed in the car, and the timing of it must have been incredible, because as the car rolled, I flew out through the sunroof and landed probably about 150 yards away in a field. It's kind of the last thing I remember. When I think about it, it's almost like it wasn't me. It's like an out-of-body experience where it was somebody else that went through that experience and not me. They tried to reattach my arm. So this whole time period, I knew nothing about, because I was in a coma. It wasn't for a couple of weeks that I actually, came round. Even after I came round, I didn't really know what had happened. And then things started coming back to me. My brother was amazing. He ended up staying with me in the hospital, and without his help, I really don't know what I would have done. He was such a rock, such a great support. He would start to jog my memory, and then it started to come back to me. I started remembering what had happened, and it was at that point that I really felt like I'd been defeated, and I really didn't want to be here anymore, and let alone play drums again. I don't think it was really until I met Lauren back in 2000. So a lot of time had passed. Her background in the healing arts, I met her. She was teaching at Boulder College of Massage and teaching energy medicine. It was pretty amazing, because it was not only about my trauma, but it was about her experience of healing, and the two of us together, the two minds together. That was when I started to figure out that there were ways that I could heal. These things that were somewhat alien to me, but to Lauren, they came very naturally. And I saw glimpses of hope, just trying something new. But it isn't until you experience them. I think that's the one thing about the, drum circle, or playing drums, or playing an instrument, or whatever. It's one thing to be a spectator or in the audience, but it's a completely different thing when you experience it, when you actually get in there and you meditate. One size doesn't fit all. Not everything, works for everybody. But there's a lot of things we can all try. I think if I'd have spent some time really being serious about my health, my mental health, I think I would have explored more and not waited until, years later when I met Lauren. If I'd have taken that first experience of asking for help and the fantastic response that I got, if I'd have taken that further instead of throwing myself back into my work, I think it would have been a more accelerated path to healing. In 1985, I'd never heard the term PTSD. I'd never heard the term traumatic brain injury. You know, all this stuff was completely alien to me. Spending time around the military, I think, has really opened many doors for me. It's changed my perception about, you know, trauma and everything that goes with it, and how to deal.
There are so many takeaways from the drum circle because we're combining meditation and mindfulness with rhythm. And when we do that, there is such an intention that we create in the circle that it connects us together. It also really helps us calm our inner self, and our physicality starts to change. And it's very, very visceral, and we feel that experience. And meditation alone with your mind can help reorganize your nervous system. But then when you bring the rhythm to it, and you bring all the people around together, it's an epic experience of the nervous system as well as for your soul to really reconnect. And it trains us how to use our mind to be more in our heart. And when we do that, our body responds.
I've been on a mission to really explore how to help other people. And I have healing gifts that I didn't understand that I've applied to my life now through music and through teaching other people how to access their intuition, how to access their own healing power, and to get out of their own way. Because oftentimes the beginning of our trouble starts from our mind, where we feel separate from one another. Okay, I'd like to open the circle with an intent. Just take this moment to acknowledge the present. I'd like to bring our awareness to all the directions surrounding us, to the north and the south and the east and the west, above and below. So we create a circle, a sphere of intention that supports our highest good. May we receive images and messages and feelings where we can grow and share and be our best selves, and acknowledge the earth deep below, all supporting us right now. So you really don't need to work very much with your body. Just allow your body to be heavy. Just acknowledge any pain you might have in your body. And as you experience your pain, send your breath to that area while we're drumming. Continue bringing your breath, bringing that chi, bringing the prana to the area, bringing the blood to the area. If there's any emotional pain, I want you to breathe it in and exhale out and allow these emotions to be released. And with your mind's eye, I want you to go back to the exact moment that you woke up this morning. The exact moment we open your eyes and what that felt like in your body. Take in all the images. If you had any pain, any negative thoughts, I want you to take a deep breath and release them.
I'm a grizzled veteran, so I've played with a lot of different people. I'm a 16-year stage 4 cancer survivor.
When we were doing the drum circle, Lauren was reminding us, breathe. Like, and you know, when you're drumming, you're kind of uptight, you're kind of doing your things. You don't often think to just take a breath. And I thought that was maybe one of the most valuable takeaways from this event and from mindfulness. And that's kind of the reset. That's something we all have. We all breathe oxygen. So I was just absolutely thrilled to be asked to be part of it. And I think the energy is just, I mean, hey, selfishly, I know I got as much out of it as anyone else. You know, just what a gift. I think, you know, they've been doing this a long time. So obviously you can feel that energy, and what they're sharing is super powerful.
It's a way to be together and have a voice and be able to, you know, get out your feelings that you're having that sometimes are hidden. You know, I got into music for that very reason. I didn't know exactly what I was going through at the time, but, you know, childhood stuff and all different stuff that I was dealing with, I went there as an escape. So I feel really strongly about building that community, building that communication, you know, around music, around, you know, being heard. So I say to any vet that's out there that's struggling, I would say, you know, find a place that you can, you know, use that inner voice and to be able to express yourself. Especially music, I think, is the best way to do it. Express yourself.
I think the biggest lesson is to just have acceptance with whatever situation you're in. That doesn't mean you think it's okay. That doesn't mean that you like it, but to accept it and stop fighting it. And once we do that, then we have the opportunity to move on with a clear head and a clear heart and keep those emotions in check. And it's been humbling to watch what other people have had to walk through compared to what I've walked through, which is a lot less, you know. So it's been an inspiring experience.
Hey, my name's John Lum. I play drums for the Almond Betts Band. It's a huge honor to be here with all y'all.
It's a way for me to connect with other human beings in a very profound way where we have this exchange of energy where I'm playing and maybe you're listening, maybe I'm having an experience or you're having an experience, and that energy exchange is healing for both sides of the stage. And that taking part in that interaction or that process is very fulfilling and healing for me.
What's up? My name is Dwayne Trucks. I play with a band called Widespread Panic. You know, mental health plays a huge factor in just your overall quality of life, and you watch people struggle, unfortunately, with what it's like to live with trauma and the ways they handle that. And for me, sound and music and that has really pulled me out and helped me come to terms with things or make me more self-aware to actually take the step to get the help that I need, whether it's talk therapy or other alternative types of therapy. And, you know, mental health, there's this stigma of people not wanting to, you know, reach out and get the help they need, whether it's some trauma that they haven't faced or whether it's something they're currently going through, an addiction, a struggle. It's always better to just reach out. You know, it's humbling in a lot of ways, and you find through the community that surrounds, whether it's music or whatever, that there's people that will listen and will help.
I think that when you're lost in music and you're lost in rhythm, I think that's as close to any real sense of magic that I've ever experienced 53 years on this planet. You know, there's a sense of almost an out-of-body experience where you're lost in everything that is happening. You can kind of communicate with other musicians that have the same sensation and ability on their instruments, and you can sort of communicate on a higher plane. That's the thing that I think happens when you play music. You get caught up in this communal experience that is not only happening with your fellow musicians, it's also you're taking the audience along with you. And I think that's one of the most powerful human experiences that we can have.
My name is Shannon Larkin. I'm most known for Godsmack, a band from Boston that I've been with for 20 years. I started in the 80s with Wrathchild America, then moved on to Ugly Kid Joe, and I played concerts with Black Sabbath and Ozzy, and played records for Glassjaw and Vanilla Ice, and it's been a long, long, beautiful journey. Anything that we can donate that we feel helps people with suicide prevention, addiction, And PTSD is a big one for our veterans. And actually seeing it help folks, real folks, in the real world, like, is even, it makes you feel like you've made it, you know, way more than like a gold record on your wall or whatever. So, you know, it's been a wonderful thing. I get chills talking about it because a lot of people have no one to talk to and they hold all this crap in and it gets pent inside. And so sometimes if they just had a number to call where someone could say to them, take 10 deep breaths, take 10 deep breaths, let's think about this. I went through my low period after being enabled. That's what us rockers are, we're enabled. Everything's free. Any kind of alcohol is always free, and drugs are just handed to us hand over fist because people, it's just the way it's been. And so it was 6.5 years ago that I hit my low as an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. And I called Music Cares, which is another organization within our industry that helps folks like me that need help. And it was a one phone call thing. And they turned me on to this place, Recovery Unplugged. Next thing you know, and I was like that same guy like most of us where I didn't believe in therapy and stuff like that. You know, therapy, I'm gonna go see a shrink or whatever. And then, you know, but when you're at your bottom, if you can just say, yes, I will try anything to live. I haven't drank in over 6 years now. And my life changed and happiness comes from within, I've discovered. And so my point is to everybody watching this, therapy works.
My name is Franklin Vanderbilt. I played for Lenny Kravitz.
Music is basically a conversation and a intergalactic connection, I would say, you know, that connects all of us no matter what the cause is. You know, we all can speak to each other through music.
You know, you just have to always believe in yourself and then believe in other people and then try to bring those people together and just don't stop believing. If you have your dream, keep dreaming your dream. You have to be prepared, you know, you have to be able to put what you're putting forward to bring it to the table. But it's hard doing it all on your own. You need people to help you and you need people to do that. So the people who service us, and I mean, God bless them, because without them, we wouldn't be, you know, we wouldn't be as free and we wouldn't have the freedom that we have in the life that we have if it wasn't for those people.
You know, I've been all over the world, but I gotta tell you, I've never been to Africa. But today, I can truly say that I've traveled to Africa. Thanks to you folks, you got me there to the motherland. You know what I'm talking about, you know. Oh, say what? Do it again, huh? Ooh, did you hear that? Now let me get some more, come on, a little some over here. Pop up. Woo! You hear that, Lloyd? Okay, now everybody else is kind of creepy, but no, don't try to march like a high school band or USC Trojans. The march is like there it is, right, John?
It's beautiful that we can make music together and love one another, encourage one another, strengthen one another. It's great. And so every time I sat down and played drums, I was just in another world. I just completely lost perspective of where I was. It was like all of a sudden, there I am on another planet, even though, you know, I was there with people. It's just like right now, I feel like I'm on another planet somewhere. I don't feel normal, you know. And I feel like, you know, I feel like supercharged because I got a bunch of energy, a bunch of groovy people around me. And it's like, you know, and it's when you have that music to guide you and lead you in that direction, it's kind of what you get. And that's how it's helped me.
I had my own PTSD after, you know, I had my years where I decided not to pay attention to what was going on with my life, and I became an alcoholic. And I'm 31 years in recovery now. And recovery is just a wonderful thing, but you have to ask for help. And as soon as you ask for help, life kind of gets better. So for me to come down here and be of service to the veterans, of which I was in the Navy band. I was in the Admiral of the 6th Fleet, had a band, and we played for all these functions around the Mediterranean. I was stationed on the French Riviera for a year and a half. I'm forever grateful. I met my wife there. We're still married 55 years later. So I think we're doing something right, you know. Drummers stays married, you know. And we can still be crazy, have fun, and live a full and good life in recovery. But for the people out there suffering, man, all you have to do is ask for help. It's there. It might be a little difficult to find now because there's so many of you. So I'm all for it. Recovery is just, there's nothing that compares to it. So if you want a life and to stop thinking and feeling what you're feeling now, it's possible. I mean, address your issues. I mean, nobody's stronger than a vet. Yeah, your mind tells you one thing, but you guys that are coming back from that experience, I mean, you have a strength that nobody else has. And find it and help somebody else. That's what we do.
I'm Josh Rusin. I played in a band called the Jacks, definitely smaller than everyone else here. But now I'm playing with the group Julian Ness.
You never know when your best year is around the corner, you know? Like, I think I had one of my worst years followed up by my best year of my life. And I've lost a lot of friends to drug addiction and suicide. And I think about, you know, like their best year could have been around the corner. And I think it's really important that there are people that are looking out for each other, and there's people that have your back and to check in on your friends. And, you know, I don't have any complete direct advice as in this is what you need to do right now, but all I can say is that, you know, life is transient and it changes over time, and you know, you're gonna have ups and downs no matter what, and find people that love you and care about you, and just know that your best year of your life could be right around the corner.
I always honored the veterans and the policemen and firemen and everybody, you know, who take care of other people, and that's their main focus. I applaud Rick and Lauren for what they're doing, and all the veterans out there, thank you so much.
Everybody's fine, living in anger, from sunset to dawn, they're taking it home, and the fear